Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Backpack Trader Trading Room for Wednesday, October 1st, 2025. Please note the required risk disclosure. This room is for educational and information purposes only. It is not financial advice. Trading of this type carries substantial risks and should only be attempted with funds you can afford to do without. This should be risk capital only. All right. Crude oil inventory session coming up at 10:30, so we'll set the disclosure aside. Get in sync short on the micro Russell. Get in sync long on the YM, it looks like. Get in sync long there. Get in sync long on soybeans. Crude actually got it done. This add-on trade got in sync right along in here. Actually, no. The add-on trade went to money management, so did not get in that. So we get the long trade here. It goes to target 1, so that is a one and done. 17 ticks to target 1. That makes the power of quitting. Unleaded. 9 o'clock start. Get in sync with the short. Gets target 1 and a partial. Target 1 traders are done. Second trade would be this long. Yeah, in the long in all likelihood. That goes to money management and gets a break-even stop. So that ends the session for target 2 traders. POQ on 2 money management trades. There is micro NQ. They get in sync short at the moment. And micro Russell goes too far. That was a big trade with big wick. So that one is off the table. And we get market is now open. The short is a no-go, but we do have a long that's in. Excuse me. Plenty for target 1, YM in a long, micro Russell in a long. YM gets target 1. That's going to be one and done. Looks like we need 5 ticks. Small target 1. 45.5. And we are at break even. And that's a break even stop out. So trade number 1 is a break even. Soybeans is long. YM is out of its long trade. That's a one and done session there. Wait 4 minutes after market open for our micro NQ. So this trade has gone too far. We'll look for a new one. Short setup on the pound Aussie has canceled. Pound Aussie is flat this morning. So unleaded is done. Crude is done. YM is done. Pound Aussie, micro Russell, micro NQ, and soybeans. Running till 10:15. No 10 o'clock session today on crude. We'll do the 10:30 crude inventory report. There's a long trade on still before our start time. Uh-oh. My data is behind. Yeah, I'm a minute and a half or so behind. Micro NQ, still not quite to 1032, and it's actually up past 1033. Well, watch what it does, but definitely do not trade off of my charts. I'm not going to be trading off of these charts. Yeah, about a minute 40 behind. Soybeans in the long trade. These trades are what you should have seen in real time, but these are going to be behind a little bit. Crude setting new session lows. Soybeans in the long, that's the only active trade. Micro NQ trade was too early. I'm about 2 minutes behind now. Nice trade of micro NQ, but that's too early for us to get involved in. That stopped out looking for a new setup. Well, pretty slow day on soybeans. Market open transition happening right at yesterday's session low. Just above it. That's a valid short setup on micro NQ. Once again, my data is behind and therefore delayed. That trade is done. Let's take a look at that, see if it was tradable or not. So we're about to get a new long trade. Yep, there it is. So let's go back here. Mark that one up. Definitely should be in it. Went up and came back. Now get in sync. There's our time marker. Make it a 4-second chart. We're in the long. Long on crude. And we're done with that. Okay, there's our entries down here. Boy, nope, that trade is avoidable. So no loss on the short. And we'll go back to our long. Micro Russell takes a full stop. Well, actually, a stop and reverse on the short. Back to long. $1.1. That's 1.9. We're going to need 5 ticks with the stop and reverse. So we do get, and there is target. So we take a loss on the stop and reverse. I would not let that go negative. since we did just hit target 3, I would keep that. And so that's good. The actual entry is going to be 50.3. So that's going to make 50.4 the stop. And that's where we are now. There's target 4. Trailer to 50.9. Long trade stopped out, so that is our first loss on the micro NQ. Soybean still hanging around the entry. We have a break even, loss, and a win so far on the micro Russell in a winning trade, actually, on trade number 3. 51.9 for the trailing stop short on micro NQ. Big wick on this one. Yeah, target 1 is going to be actionable target. For Russell with another stop move. 52.4. Catching it. Data's catching back up now, getting close. And another stop and reverse on micro NQ. Avoided that first trade. Second trade was a loss. Third trade is also a loss. That's a stop and reverse. Well, actually, is it? We're going to move 1.34 1/4. Yeah, I think we got into that. If we got into that, we take a full loss on the. Well, if we didn't get into that, we're still in the original short, actually. The long would be canceled. And the data is caught back up, so we can trade this now. That should be a valid short on the micro Russell. Right. The long survived, or short rather survived. On the original trade, we'd have gotten target 2, or target 1, target 2, and target 3. No, no, wait a minute. It's not the original trade. That's the original trade. And we just got target 3. Or we got target 3. trail down to $747.5, and we're now long. Short trade on the micro Russell. We need to go down 2 ticks. It's going to get a 0. And we are at money management. So we are trailing. There's target 3. Trailer is at break even, 44.3, and that's where we stop out. So that's a break even. That should be a winning trade right there. That's a win. That's a win. Loss, and they break even. Break even, loss, win, 2 wins. And a 2 break evens, 2 wins, and a loss. One more trade. Soybeans, target 1. Eight ticks, 2 points. Now looking for target 2. Micro NQ approaching target 2. Micro Russell with a long setup. That did trigger in. That's not the right line up there. And that's got a pretty good sized wick on it. So target 1 is definitely going to be. Yeah, target 2 is going to be our actionable, first actionable target. Target 2 on Micro NQ. Stop on the soybeans trade comes up to 997 flat. And trailing in target 3 on the Micro NQ. Trailer up to 782, 785. Bounce, 790 and 3/4. And we get target 4. Target 2 on the Micro Russell, looking for target 3. That one's also trailing. 47 flat. No, that's going to be 46.9. And that's where it stops out at 46.9. Coming up on 10 o'clock, we do have a red labeled news report scheduled, so won't enter any new trades right now. Yeah, that short on the micro Russell is within our stand down. Stop out on the micro NQ. So we have one trade remaining on the micro Russell. What is that? Break even, loss, win, loss, break even. So yeah, the long was our final trade on the micro Russell. Third winner against two break evens and a loss. Micro NQ, that definitely is a stand down trade. So not in that trade. We wouldn't have been in the next trade on the micro Russell either. Mark that trade up, but we're not participating. Gets a target 2, then stops out on micro Russell. We're done there. We also got a target 2 on the micro NQ. Still, that's also a stand down trade. We got another minute and a quarter before we can get into that. Stand down on the pound Aussie as well. Short trade now. Actionable target is target 2. Still not to a resume time on the micro NQ. All right, micro NQ back to resume. So we're ready to get in sync with that long. Soybeans stops out on the trailer. That is a one and done session. 2 3/4 points, not huge. And we do pick up the entry. No, we didn't. Hadn't gotten back down there. So no trade on the micro NQ. Looks like the short did trigger on pound Aussie. Soybeans is done. So we have the two catapult trades, micro Russell in the top left, micro NQ in the bottom center, and pound Aussie on spotlight on the bottom left as our active charts. We've got about 12 minutes before I'll need to shut down and transition over to the crude oil inventory report session. I'll be off for about 10 minutes and then we should be back up with the new stream. Fairly successful session this morning. Everything should be positive. So that was a win. That was a win. That was a win. 3 wins. Actually, that was off the original trade was definitely the winner. So we've got 1, 2, and when I look back, that long trade was not tradable, so we basically remain in the original short, and that's a no trade. So that's why it's just 1 win on this trade. Win, win. That's a win. This would have been win number 4, and that would have been the end of the session. That trade was not within our trade parameters because we did have a stand down for news at 10 o'clock. Actually, both of those trades. So we only got 2 wins. Neither one of those last 2 trades would have been in their trade plan because of the news. So micro Russell is done. Winning session there. Winning session on crude at 9 o'clock. YM was 1 and done. Soybeans 1 and done. Unleaded was 1 and done for target 1, 2 and done for target 2. All positive. So we have the pound Aussie and the micro NQ. Micro NQ just 2 trades in this morning, both of them winners. Pound Aussie making some progress. Money management just above the 50 EMA at this point. Target 2 just below it. There is a new setup on the micro NQ. Short trade setup hasn't triggered. All right, another 5 minutes. The short is still valid on the micro NQ, and we have money management on pound Aussie. So our stop will move down 417. But yeah, there's a crossover. New long trade triggers in on the micro NQ. Trade number 3 on the morning. All right, long on the micro NQ, short on the pound Aussie. Got a couple more minutes. Pound Aussie getting close. Target 2 is 402, and I believe that's it. Oh, missed it by a tick. 4021. I would probably bring my target 1 stop, or bring my target 2 stop positions 1 and 2 up to target 1, down to target 1 with that close brush with the target 2. Working around the 50 EMA. Two positions there. And there is target 2. So 2 positions coming off. That's going to be power of quitting. When this trade is over, that trade plan will be done. But it's time for me to close down and get ready for the crude oil inventory report. So I will see everybody back in about 10 minutes. See you back for the crude oil inventory report. So the only chart that will not, well, so far it's positive too, but the only active chart when the pound Aussie trade finishes will be the micro NQ. It's in trade number 3 after 2 wins. So that will do it for today on our regular session. See you back in about 10 minutes for the inventory report, crude inventory report, that is.